Hello, everybody, and welcome to Top 5 New Comics for July 23rd of 2025. I am, as always, Chris. Let's jump into some comics, starting with Superman number 28. This is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Dan Mora, colors by Alejandro Sanchez, and letters by Ariana Maher. Summer Superman goes on, and one of my favorite Superman books in recent memory is still happening. And we're jumping in a new story arc here, so maybe a good starting off point. We've also kind of been leading up to this, so I guess with any series, I always suggest starting from the beginning. But hey, we all started comics somewhere, and we all got into different comics at a certain point, so why not jump in now? My first thing when looking at this issue going into this top five video was Dan Mora. How? How do you keep drawing so many books, and how do they always look amazing? I don't know how he does it. The man works his ass off, and I love it. He's my favorite artist going right now. He's doing so many amazing things, and I love him on Superman. And I know that this is temporary, seeing that he's doing Transformers here in the near future, but I'll take every time he wants to do it. And then just Joshua Williamson and all of his creative partners throughout this run have been just doing such a phenomenal job with this character. Now, not only are we at the precipice of like Superman being the top of the news everywhere with that movie that came out and just the Summer of Superman event that DC's putting on, all these great things around the character, but it all kind of centers around this idea that we had the Superman book that's been so great for going on its third year now. And I have just absolutely loved it. And then with this issue, we're starting off the Legion of Darkseid mini event. I mean, I guess it's only an event in terms of it's what's happening in this book, but I know it's leading to a bigger event at the end of summer. And we've seen these characters in the background, these near future Darkseid apostles that may be Kryptonian, maybe I think they were teased to be Legion of Superheroes at one point. There's just a lot going on with them, and I want to get more answers about them because we've seen them. We've seen how they connected to the Time Sweeper. We've seen how they've connected to the Darkseid. We've seen little bits and pieces of them, and now they finally decided it's time to go after Superman. And I'm just really excited to get into the story arc. I've loved this run on Superman. I cannot recommend it enough. Definitely go check it out. After that, have the new History of the DC Universe number 2. This is written by Mark Waid with art by Brad Walker and Michael Allred with colors by Trish Mulvihill and Laura Allred. So that first issue of the new History of the DC Universe, I will admit, if you're not into comics and superhero comics in particular, and Big Two comics even more in particular, and DC comics even further in particular, probably not the best read for you. This is more for the fan, the person that loves DC comics. Much like when Mark Waid did the History of the Marvel Universe book, it was very similar for Marvel fans. He's doing it over here. And that first issue was really a bullet point by bullet point. This is what happened in the DC universe, starting at the Big Bang, leading up to the Justice Society. And he sets it up as Barry Allen chronicling what's going on to give it some semblance of a story. But really, it's here's some amazing artwork of important moments in the DC universe and what happened when along the timeline. And it's very interesting to see what gets placed in there, what doesn't get placed in there, what's moved, what's added, and all these different things. So for somebody who's really into that, that is really nerdy about this, this is a great comic for you. And then for this issue in particular, I mean, I would have made it my top 5 either way, but having Michael and Laura Allred art in the issue, I'll pick up anything that those two do. I don't care. It could be my most hated character, and I'm there for it. I love that team, their artwork. It's just for me, top tier stuff. I just adore it. So yeah, this will be one of my tops off the list Wednesday. Cannot wait. After that, we got DC Cross Sonic the Hedgehog number 5. This is written by Ian Flynn with art by Adam Bryce Thomas. We have reached the conclusion of one of the most fun crossovers of the year. And we've got everyone together. We got all of our great moments. We got the Sonic characters in the DC universe, the DC characters in the Sonic universe. We got them coming together to figure out what the threat is. We got the plan issue where everything is coming together and this is how we're going to stop Darkseid. Well, this is the conclusion where presumably they're going to stop Darkseid. And I've had so much fun with this issue. It's an obvious. I mean, we've already seen the pop figures come out, and I'm sure we're gonna get action figures in the near future. It was an obvious crossover to sell merchandise, but hey, that's comics. If that's what it's all about, and I'm here for the fun stories that can be had from this. It was been a blast. I hope we get a cool, fun, action-packed conclusion to this. And I honestly, like, it's been so great. I hope that they are able to do it again in a year or so. Just bring on these fun, awesome crossover comics. DC and Marvel have been killing it at this recently, and I'm just so happy that we're in an age where we get these amazing crossovers across the board, and more to come with DC and Marvel coming together. So, yeah, it's the conclusion. I recommend if you want something fun, if you're an old video game head like me who enjoyed the old Sonic the Hedgehog video games, or someone who wants their in on what Sonic the Hedgehog comics are and you're a DC fan, there's so much with this series that can be brought about it outside of just being pure unadulterated fun. Yeah, definitely check this one out. After that, I have Geiger, number 16. This is written by Geoff Johns with art by Eamon Winkle, colors by Brad Anderson, and letters by Rob Lee. So it's always interesting when you get a Geiger issue that isn't Gary Frank art. It's just so different because Gary Frank's such a unique individual and what he does in the art world. But Geoff Johns and crew have brought in some great artists to keep the series running. Gary Frank, very detailed, very great artist, but known not to be the fastest worker. And I actually don't even like saying that because it wouldn't surprise me if just his art takes more time because of how intricate and detailed it is. He probably works just as fast as any artist, but he has a different style that requires more out of it. But anyways, the fill-in artists they've brought in have all been really great. They've kept the flow of the book. Yes, it's different, but it still works. And Geoff has managed to keep the story going for where Gary shows up for the big bombastic story arcs where his art shines most, and brings in kind of these fill-in artists for story arcs that may be a little bit more cerebral or more character moments and less of those big action moments and the big story arcs. And in this one, we're getting Geiger falling out of what happened last issue. He's now face to face with Dr. Molotov, the man who created Geiger and was presumed to be dead and is going to be looking for answers. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of heads clashing. There'll probably be some fights breaking out. Geiger's just been one of those books that jumped on the scene when Geoff Johns left DC, and I saw his creative juices flowing once again. I felt that his work at DC was lacking the later part of his tenure there, and him going over and doing this Ghost Machine thing has really reinvigorated him as creator, at least from the outside looking in. And I've just really loved this book. I love the first series they did. That ancillary miniseries was okay, and now we're on the ongoing. That's been 15 issues I can vouch for of great comics. So I definitely recommend people check out Geiger. And then let's end with Godzilla number 1. This is written by Tim Seeley with art by Nicola Semedja, colors by Francisco Sigala, and letters by Nathan Wittick. Nicola, I probably butchered your last name. I apologize. Severely apologize. I'm deeply American. I have a hard time reading some foreign names. Anyways, we've got Godzilla #1. The Kai-Sai era of Godzilla is arriving. This is IDW's big thing for 2025. Let's do a Godzilla ongoing, a Godzilla expanded universe, if you will, inside the comics that doesn't have to tie into the movies or tie into any past films, series, comics that we do. Let's start fresh with the character and see if we can do an American Godzilla right. So, for me, a Godzilla fan, someone who enjoys that character very much and pretty much all of his iterations, it's exciting to see someone try again. We tried in '99 to do an American Godzilla, a truly American, different from the other Godzillas Godzilla. And it didn't really work out that well. I'm sure there's people out there that defend it. For me, I remember seeing it in theaters as a kid and enjoying it, but as an adult being like, oh, this is very flawed. So let's take that idea and do it again. But let's do it as a comic. Let's see if we can do it right and create a roadmap for maybe something in the future. And getting a guy like Tim Seeley to write it is great. I love they're doing all these ancillary books for it. But for this is the starting point. The excitement starts here. Hopefully it does not end here. And we'll be checking this book out and just have so much excitement to see what's going to happen, what's going to be different about this Godzilla, what's going to be the same about this Godzilla, what kind of story are we telling, who are the characters involved, all these different things. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where it goes. So everybody, that is everything for this week. Remember, if you want to follow me, best ways to do it at Fortress Chris, whether you want to look on X, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, I'm there under that moniker. And then you can check out my Substack, which is chriscomicscorner.substack.com. And then also the podcast I do every week with my co-host Mike, which is the Fortress of Comic News. Find it anywhere you find podcasts. Also here on YouTube, talking about the news, what's going on, what we're reading, watching. And then most importantly, we do the interview section where we talk to a comic creator about what they're doing in the industry, what they're working on, help promote some great comics along the way. And for this video, you can always do what you do with all of my YouTube videos, which is push all the buttons you see below. Whether it's the like, the share, subscribe, the comment, do all those things. It goes a long way, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you all here next week.